You begin your offshore shift by opening the daily log in the quiet control room. The control room remains silent, with only the steady hum of offshore systems awaiting your daily inspection routine. Each checkbox on the safety checklist, such as helmet inspection, requires completion before shift start. Your supervisor highlights yesterday's log entries, emphasizing the importance of accurate record keeping for offshore safety. The radio log ensures all communications are tracked, with every call and response documented to prevent misunderstandings. Opening the log, you prepare to document the initial checks, starting with the control room equipment status. Reviewing past logs helps identify patterns and ensures no issue is overlooked in the current offshore operation. A discussion ensues about a discrepancy noted yesterday, requiring immediate attention during today's verification process. The helmet log tracks all inspections, ensuring every piece of safety gear certified and ready for use. You begin by checking the control panel lights, confirming that all systems are online and functioning properly. Recording the initial readings in your notebook ensures a permanent record of the system status at shift start. The panel displays critical data like pressure and temperature, which must be within specified ranges for safe operation. Cross-referencing the readings with a standard chart confirms that all parameters are within acceptable offshore limits. Your supervisor verifies the readings, adding his approval to the log before moving to the next check item. Outside, the wind whistles through the metal, a constant reminder of the harsh offshore environment you work in. Proceeding to the radio check, you ensure that all communication channels are clear and operational for the shift. Safety equipment like fire extinguishers must be inspected daily to ensure readiness in case of an emergency. You perform a radio check by calling the deck, confirming that the communication system is working correctly. The monitor logs the radio check, automatically recording the time and response for future reference and safety audits. With the radio check logged, you move on to verify the next system, maintaining the routine of daily inspections. Your radio check is logged with a timestamp, confirming that all communication systems are fully operational for the shift. Next, you verify the emergency shutdown system, ensuring it can be activated instantly if needed during an offshore incident. This panel controls critical shutdown functions designed to halt operations immediately in case of a safety breach. Your supervisor reviews the progress, ensuring that all checks are performed according to the standard operating procedures. You cross-check the pressure readings on the secondary panel, confirming they match the expected offshore operational levels. The standard chart lists all acceptable ranges for system parameters, serving as a reference for daily verification. A radio call from the deck confirms that the initial safety equipment checks have been completed successfully. You record the deck operator's confirmation in the logbook, ensuring that all safety equipment checks are documented accurately. The logbook page is nearly complete, with most items checked off, reflecting the thoroughness of the daily inspection. With the control room checks done, you gear up to head out onto the deck for the next phase. Now you move to the deck to verify all systems, starting with a walkthrough of safety equipment and monitors. As you exit onto the deck, the strong offshore wind reminds you of the need for constant vigilance and safety. The deck is equipped with safety features like marked lines and non-slip surfaces to prevent accidents in wet conditions. You inspect the fire extinguisher, verifying that the pressure gauge is in the green zone and the tag is current. You radio the control room to report that the fire extinguisher inspection is complete and all readings are normal. The inspection tag shows the last check date, ensuring that the equipment is regularly maintained and ready for use. You check the deck monitor, confirming that the pressure and temperature readings are within the safe operational range. A fellow worker signals that the next area requires verification, coordinating efforts to cover all systems efficiently. The sea continues to surround the platform, its constant motion a backdrop to the meticulous work of system checks. You observe a minor discrepancy in the monitor reading, prompting you to recheck it against the standard values for accuracy. You double-check the variance by comparing the monitor reading of 150 pounds per square inch to the standard value of 145 pounds per square inch on your chart. The monitor screen displays real-time data, with the pressure reading slightly above the normal range, requiring attention. You use the radio to inform the control room about the pressure discrepancy, waiting for their response on next steps. A fellow operator radios back, suggesting you verify the reading by inspecting the nearby pressure gauge for accuracy. The offshore wind continues to blow, adding ambient noise as you proceed with the routine equipment checks. You move to the pressure gauge, checking its dial to see if it matches the monitor reading for consistency. While adjusting your helmet, you record the gauge reading of 148 pounds per square inch in your notebook, noting it for comparison. The sea provides a constant backdrop, its rhythmic motion contrasting with the precise routine of system verification. You calculate that the gauge shows 148 pounds per square inch, which is 3 pounds per square inch higher than the chart standard, indicating a minor issue. You update the deck log with the variance information, including the time and both readings for documentation purposes. Your notebook contains detailed entries from the check, showing the thoroughness required in daily offshore routines. You call the control room to report the confirmed variance, seeking guidance on whether to continue checks or address it immediately. The supervisor radios back, advising you to note the variance but continue with other checks, since it falls within safe limits. In the control room, operators watch over various panels, coordinating responses to routine discrepancies like this one. You mark the variance area with a flag, ensuring it's visible for follow-up. Then prepare to resume the deck walk. You proceed to check the emergency shutoff valve, verifying that its inspection tag is current and the valve is operational. Safety helmets are stored properly, ready for use, emphasizing the importance of personal protective equipment offshore. You coordinate with another operator via radio, ensuring all deck areas are being verified systematically without delays. With the valve check done, you log it as complete, taking a brief pause to observe the sea before moving on. The deck verification continues, with you methodically working through the checklist against the backdrop of the open sea. You use the radio to verify that the fire suppression system is operational, a critical step in the daily offshore check routine. The radio is a vital tool, constantly used to maintain communication across the offshore platform's various sections during checks. You check the monitor panel, ensuring that pressure readings are within the specified safe ranges for offshore operation. You receive a radio update confirming that the engine room systems are stable, allowing you to proceed with deck checks smoothly. The wind adds pressure to the checks, reminding you of the harsh offshore environment where precision is always key. You update the deck log with completed checks, documenting each step to maintain accurate records for the shift. You coordinate with the control room via radio, ensuring that all checks are synchronized and no critical steps are missed. The checklist guides every action, with each box representing a critical safety or operational verification point offshore. You complete the check on the life raft, ensuring it is ready for emergency use. A final step in deck verification. With deck checks finished, you prepare to return to the control room to begin updating the logs and encounter potential discrepancies. Now you move to update the records, where careful notation can reveal discrepancies that require immediate, high-stakes decisions. You begin updating the system log with the readings collected during the deck walk, cross-referencing with previous entries for accuracy. Your notebook contains all the raw data from the checks, which must be accurately transcribed into the official offshore records. You encounter a discrepancy. Your notebook shows 150 pounds per square inch, but the control panel reads 155 pounds per square inch, a 5-unit difference that raises concern. Faced with the discrepancy, you choose to recheck the gauge immediately to ensure the accuracy of the reading before reporting. The control panel displays critical data, where even small variances can indicate potential issues in the offshore system operation. Upon rechecking, you confirm that the gauge reads 155 pounds per square inch, verifying the discrepancy and the need for further action or reporting. You contact the control room via radio to report the confirmed variance, seeking guidance on the next steps in the routine. The supervisor instructs you to note the discrepancy in the log and continue monitoring, a high-stakes decision in daily offshore checks. You document the discrepancy in the system log, ensuring it is flagged for review before moving on to finish the updates. You check the temperature data, confirming it stays within the safe operational limits of 80 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature gauge provides critical feedback, ensuring no overheating occurs in the offshore platform systems. You record the temperature in your log, a routine step that helps track system performance over the shift. You verify the flow rate with the operator via radio, ensuring it aligns with the production targets for the day. The radio log documents all communications, a key part of maintaining accurate offshore operation records. With the confirmation, you input the flow rate into the digital log, keeping the records up to date and precise. You choose to watch the pressure variance, a high-stakes decision to avoid unnecessary alarms while ensuring safety. The pressure gauge indicates minor fluctuations which require careful observation to prevent potential system issues. You document the pressure variance in your notebook, setting a reminder for follow-up to maintain operational integrity. The supervisor examines the logs, providing guidance on handling the recorded variances in the daily offshore checks. Together, you make a small adjustment to the control panel, a procedural step to address the variance safely. Your helmet inspection tag confirms it was checked recently, a routine safety measure on the offshore platform. You finish updating the notebook, ensuring every reading is accurate before closing the daily records for the shift. You save the log and compile a report ready for submission to complete the update phase of your offshore duties. You inform the control room via radio that all records are updated, a standard communication to confirm task completion. The sea remains calm outside, a constant backdrop to the routine checks and updates on the offshore rig. You verify that every discrepancy is properly logged, a final step to maintain integrity in the offshore records before closing. You stow your tools and review the logs, ensuring no errors remain before moving on to the next stage of your shift. The supervisor acknowledges the report and you record the time, finalizing the update records process on the platform. You complete the updates, ready to proceed with closing the logs and reporting, a key step in the offshore routine. You now enter the final stage, closing the logs and submitting your report after the day's checks. You complete the digital log, ensuring every number from the offshore checks is accurately recorded. You prepare the report for submission, detailing all findings from the daily verification process on the rig. The radio log confirms all communications were logged, a routine part of offshore platform operations. You radio the supervisor to inform them that the daily report is complete and awaiting approval. The supervisor responds, requesting a quick overview of the major checks and any issues noted today. Your helmet inspection tag is updated, indicating it was checked as part of the safety routine on the platform. You secure your tools in your vest, keeping them handy for the next check or emergency on the offshore rig. You perform a final visual check of all monitors, confirming that everything is operating within safe parameters. The sea remains tranquil as the day ends, a constant reminder of the isolation and beauty of offshore life. You record the submission time in your log, a standard practice to track the completion of offshore duties. You finalize the safety checklist, ensuring all items are checked and documented for compliance on the platform. You sign off on the daily log, officially closing the records for this shift on the offshore oil rig. The control panel shows all systems green, a reassuring sign that the offshore operations are running smoothly. The supervisor's approval appears on screen, finalizing the report and adding it to the platform's digital records. You rise from the desk, feeling the fatigue of the shift, but satisfied with the completed checks and reports. You don your helmet, a necessary safety step before leaving the controlled environment of the platform. The platform lights illuminate the deck as night falls, highlighting the intricate metalwork of the offshore installation. You exit onto the deck, radio in hand, prepared to brief the incoming team on the day's findings and status. You take a final glance at the sea, then move inside, concluding the daily check routine on the offshore rig.